Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to be taking a look at all the art supplies I purchased a year ago in this art supply haul video and seeing whether or not I still like them, would I still recommend them, did I keep them, those kind of things. Now technically these art supplies were purchased and posted a little over a year ago, but it just sounds nicer when you say from a year ago. I also really hope that I sound okay on camera. I misplaced my lav mic, so I'm using my internal camera's microphone. I may have to voice over this. So let's just dive into some items that I purchased in that video and I've been repurchasing ever since, and that is my tape. So I first purchased this masking tape from Holbein. And it was my first time ever using it when I did this art supply haul. And my reason for purchasing it back then was the fact that all the tape that I was currently using, like this, rips watercolor paper, and I was new to using gouache. Because at the time I had discovered I was allergic to acrylic paint and I was on a new journey of discovery for art supplies. But I knew that using traditional masking tape from any brand just ripped all my watercolor papers. So I needed something that was like washi tape, but a little stronger, has a lot more on the spool. Is that what it's called when it's a tape? Because when it's a string, it's a spool, right? Or does spool mean something? Anyways, the point is I needed something that was a little bit more. And yeah, I absolutely love this tape. It's actually in my video for my favorite art supplies of 2025, just because I love it so much. I even went in and bought other sizes so that I can use different, widths for whatever my needs are. So definitely love, definitely recommend. I purchased these actually from Gouache in Toronto, but you can also get it from Delta Art in Alberta. So those are the two places I typically order them from, depending on which store I'm purchasing from at the time. I'll just restock while I'm at it. And next up, let's do the markers, because in that video, I was trying some new markers. They were from Faber-Castell. It's their Gold Faber Aqua Dual marker line. I wanted to try them in comparison to my Tombow markers, which I love so much. But the only differences between the Tombow and these ones are, well, there's a couple of differences, but one of them that really intrigued me about the Faber-Castell is the tip. Let me just get a little closer to camera. See how it's got a fine tip, so it's more like a pen versus a bullet nib like on the Tombows, and I was so intrigued by that, and I wanted to see what it would be like using that when I'm creating my art, and I love it. I love it so much. So what I do is I just use whatever colors that are inspiring me. So I mix my Faber-Castells and my Tombows and all my marker brands based on what my color inspiration or whatever it is that I'm doing at the time. And if one of the ones that I'm using is the Faber-Castell, I will do really fine line detailing and tiny little marks with these tip ends. So I absolutely love it. And this is just proof of the matter. Like at the time when I first did the art haul, I had only purchased, nope. These 4 colors at the time to try it out. But as you can see, I've purchased more. I even have more upstairs in my Ultimate pencil case right now, sitting next to the couch. So yes, I love these markers. They're great. They have this amazing juiciness. So when you push down and you can get the really wet marks with them. So I like that about this brand. One of the other items that I had purchased at that time was another Art Creations square-shaped sketchbook, because I had discovered in that year, 2024, I absolutely loved using the square for doing color exploration and color studies. So I wanted to buy another one. And as you can see, I use this a lot. I'm not done just yet, but I do use it for doing my color studies, like in this format. I've recently been doing my color studies a little differently. Let's see if I can, I use it for a lot of things. Like I was testing out some of the colors. Like I do a lot of color studies in here. Anyways, one of the ways I've been recently doing color studies has been doing a background color. What's it called? We have a background color. I'm having a blank brain moment, but there's a technical artist term for using a color in the background. Oh man. I'm gonna blame it on being early this morning and the fact that I've been sick for the last few days as to why it's literally just poofed out of my brain. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of that and I've really been enjoying it, just because using colors in the background can really help emphasize an emotion that you're feeling. So, you know, and make things more cohesive. I've also started to take notes, personal notes, how I feel, the emotions that go with it, things like that. I also just like use these sketchbooks now. I have them with me when I'm sitting at the table, and if I'm like, oh, is this color palette gonna work for me? And I just like create the colors on here and just messily do it. I used to be so precise with it and do things, and there are days when I feel like doing that, but there are days where I just feel like getting really messy and seeing if the color swatches that I have will look good together so I can start creating art. So I love having this sketchbook. I will continue to purchase these, I think, for years to come, just because of their ease of use and convenience, especially because I have one. Now I have this one as well, and it's not for color studies. It's just for on the days when I have a doctor's appointment, or I want to do like a quick little thing on the couch or laying in bed, and I feel like doing something smaller versus bigger, because I do have the medium size one, which is the A5 size sketchbook. That is my usual go-to. But sometimes when you're just not feeling well enough, having a smaller surface and completing a quick landscape study or like anxiety exercise to help you calm down can be more, what is the word I'm looking for? A more, oh man, I am not doing well for words today. Sure hope I'm not getting a migraine. It feels better to feel like you achieve something. You know, a smaller format just lets you achieve it quicker and easier than having a bigger format to sketch on. Okay, yeah, let's leave it at that. So yes, definitely still use it, definitely still recommend it. One of the items that I had purchased that I do not have on hand anymore are the Posca pens. So in this video, I mentioned how at the time I could still use my Posca pens even though they're an acrylic marker. They weren't irritating my lungs, I wasn't having any problems. So I wanted to try using the larger markers in my sketchbook for doing you know, shadow, contrast, and colors type like figure studies. And I did use them for a couple of things, but they bothered my lungs. And I thought, oh, okay, it's because they are the larger ones, so more paint is coming out. So I have more fumes there to irritate me. But in the end, I ended up not being able to use my Posca pens at all, even the smaller ones. No matter how little I put on the page, I started getting irritation from my lungs. So my allergy anyways, I had a lot of those markers, so I donated them, and they've now gone to others who are able to use them, love them, and cherish them. Now, the whole purpose of this art supply haul video when I did it over a year ago was to try gouache paint for the first time and share those colors with you that I was purchasing. And if you are familiar with my channel, then you know gouache is now one of my main mediums. I use my sketching markers, I use watercolors, but gouache is one of the ones that I use a lot for when I try to recreate doing things that I used to do with acrylic paint. So these aren't all of the ones that I had swatched out. I just quickly grabbed a few from my shelf, but I purchased a basic arrangement of colors for color mixing. So I have primary magenta, I had the permanent yellow deep, burnt sienna, I had Prussian blue, ultramarine. I even bought a small white that was the same size as these, which is 15 ml. Let's just say that white, I got about halfway through it and I was like, oh yeah, this is not enough. So I went and purchased a large one. And as you can see, you use white a lot more than you do the tubes, or at least the way I create art, the colors that I choose to mix and how I do things. I use white a lot, so I went and ended up purchasing a bigger one. But I do absolutely love using my gouache. I am thinking about doing a gouache comparison for all the brands that I have, to see and show what they're like with different drawing tools on top of them. Because hear me out. I think these two are very different for how they handle colored pencils on top. So this one here is Shinhan, and this one here is Holbein. I bought the Shinhan ones from Jackson. They were a great price at the time. I want to say it was like, I don't know, like $8 or something. And typically gouache can be just as expensive as watercolors, like high-end watercolor brands. So you're looking at like $15 a tube. So I definitely went with this brand for sure for a lot of the colors. And then because Holbein is a super popular brand and easily accessible here in Canada, I definitely picked up these as well from the Gortzman store. And yeah, I just feel like when I'm drawing on top of my gouache with colored pencil, I think Holbein does better. I'm not too sure. It could just be the colors, the ratio, how thick it is that I'm putting it down. So I'm feeling like this might be a video that I will put together. You let me know in the comment section below if you're interested in something like that. I might just do it anyways. But if you are interested in it and you have any questions you'd like me to answer or inquiries about it, let me know. And I'll see to it in that video. So yes, I love these. My only feedback is for the vermilion from the Iridori line from Holbein is the fact that it is very orange. It is not the same kind of vermilion that I was familiar with when it came to other brands for acrylic paint. And I feel like it's not as punchy, potent, strong as a pigment, so you need a lot more than if you were using like, say, like a magenta or something. But I like it. It's a soft color, blends well, makes amazing corals. So nice. And the last item I have to show you is the Caran pan gouache set. Now this is technically student grade paint versus this, which is professional grade. So artist grade paint that will have like light fastness ratings and pigment information and all the stuff that you need to know if you wanted to like sell your original painting and have it up on a wall. Everything I do is for personal use. I hang up my own personal paintings in my studio, in my home. I do all my artwork in my sketchbooks. And if I do artwork for a client, it ends up getting scanned in and then made into something. So I don't really sell my artwork. I'll admit right now, I have mixed feelings about the Caran d'Ache because I actually really like it, but at the same time, I barely ever use it. And my reasoning for that is I think it's because it's in a big container. It's quite hefty because it's tin, despite the fact that this piece here, I'm sure I just almost bent my nail back. That hurt. Can be jimmied out because it moves in here. Okay, I'm not gonna try that on camera right now. I really like the colors that come in here as well. And I know some people would be like, there's too much green in here, but as a person that does a lot of landscape, nature-based kind of stuff, having these 3 different types of greens was really beneficial for me when I am using it. So technically, all you need is this set. Even though you can make it quite opaque with really like dousing this in water and getting the paint all soft, you can get that, you know, opaque appearance, and you can water it down like it's a watercolor. I definitely think this is a zinc white versus a titanium white, just based on my experience now with using other gouache paints. I had seen that in reviews when I first purchased this, people saying that they suspected it based on just the performance of it. And I gotta say, yes, I definitely think it is. So I stopped using this paint and I started using the Holbein permanent white when I was using this. Would I recommend getting this for someone that is new to using gouache, or someone that has gouache but is looking for something that's easier for transporting or maybe having with you in a situation where you have a chronic health issue and you spend a lot of time in bed or on the couch? Yes. Hear me out. Here's why. So my yes is because it gives you everything you need for color mixing, and it's got great color options for it. So you have a warm and a cool red. You have all the greens. You even have earth colors to help, plus black. I recommend getting a different white though. Why I say yes is the fact that it does lay flat and it has a mixing area. So when you're done, you can have this either sitting next to you on the couch and like on a side table and painting it, or if you have one of those folding bed tables that you have on your lap in bed, you can have it sitting there with you. So it's not hefty to go out into nature. Like you're not taking it with you to doctor's appointments or anything like that. Like for something like that, I would definitely recommend a smaller palette and probably other supplies. But for sitting at the couch and using it, this is definitely a great option to do because of its versatility, being able to easily water down and thicken up. I personally don't use it sitting at the couch just because I prefer to use my markers and my sketching materials, like my colored markers, like my colored pencils and my ink tents and things like that. Plus I have a dog, and there have been moments where I need to quickly just fling the item that I have and grab something from him, like a winter glove. Or when he tries to take my socks off my feet, I have to go no and quickly move. So in my lifestyle, this doesn't really work for me on the couch, but I have been recently thinking about setting up a permanent art supply stash in my room for the days when I am in my room all day. And I think this would be a great thing to have with me in that situation, just because my puppy is so well behaved when I don't feel well in bed. You know, when I'm sitting there, he'll just sit on the bed and he'll behave. Unless I have a migraine and I'm lying down, and he comes home from a walk and he gets really excited and licks my face. But in normal circumstances, when I'm sitting there using my sketchbook, he just sits there and behaves so well. So this is something I would definitely want to have in my studio that in my bedroom versus just sitting here in the studio. Oh, and before I say goodbye, I also really just like using this when I'm doing a quick like subject study. So I'm looking at like pears or flowers or something. I like having this on hand to just quickly do that here in the studio versus pulling out these, putting them on a palette, getting out a mixing palette, getting out all the stuff I need. All I need for this is a water brush or, you know, an actual glass with water and a brush versus a water brush. Anywho's it. Okay, I know today's video was a little different. Instead of showing you new things, I just went over the supplies that I've recently purchased. If you're new to my channel and you just found me because of this video, hello and welcome. My name is Leah. I'm an artist and creator that likes to share the magical capabilities of using art as a tool towards healing. On this channel, I take a look at supplies that you could use, things that I'm interested in. I discuss what it's like living with chronic health issues and different activities and things that you can do to help you to use art as a tool towards healing. If that's something that you're interested in, check out my channel, look at some of my videos, and if it is feeling like you like what I do here, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions about the art supplies I went over today, let me know in the comment section below as well. The year 2026, I have some plans for art supply reviews. I plan on finishing my review that I started putting together for the Faber-Castells. I would like to do individual brand reviews of the gouache that I've been really enjoying lately. And it's not something that'll happen right away, so it will unfold throughout the year. But if you have any questions about them, let me know. If it's something that I can't answer right away, I will mark it in that video's note file that I have for find answer for this. And then I'll address it in that video. All right, thank you so much for watching this. And until next time, stay magical.